to tonight's broadcast, brought to you by the Konami announcing staff. I'm Randy Hahn, calling the play-by-play of tonight's game that's coming right up. First round of the playoffs in the Eastern Conference with the opening game tonight. Both teams step onto the ice to begin their warm-up. The game is underway with the drop of the puck. Warenka, Slager. Samsonov takes over control of the puck. Bork passes the puck. Hines. Straka pounces on a sloppy pass. Titov. Skate fires it on the fly. Allison carries it into his own zone. Slager takes over control. Fires it on the fly. Save! McLaren. Boston skating in his own zone. Backhander. Fires it on the fly. Save. Fires the rebound. Penguins. Warenka carries it into his own zone. Titov fires it from the blue line. Samsonov, Boston, setting up in the defensive zone. Penguins takes over control. Can't pick up the puck. Andrechuk setting up in the defensive zone. Boston skates around looking for someone to pass to. Bruins setting up in the defensive zone. Dallas pounces on a sloppy pass. Number 12. Andrechuk pounces on a sloppy pass. Vasky carries it into his own zone. Kasparaitis takes over control of the puck. Mann fires it on the fly. Save. He rushes in on the... Fires it from the blue line. Too high. Obstruction cross-checking penalty. Belanger. Oh, looks like the crowd... Pittsburgh has the man advantage. Defoe intercepts the puck. Bork setting up in the defensive zone. Samsonov robs him of the puck. Titov. Defoe takes over control of the puck. Allison. Titov pounces on a sloppy pass. Samsonov pounces on a... Fires it on the fly. Allison. Yager winds up. Slap shot.
1 minute remaining in the
Straka. Slap shot. Save! Bork. Boston skating in his own zone. Bruins. McLaren. Samsonov. Warenka takes over control of the puck. Samsonov takes over control of the puck. Wasn't looking for it. Kovalov, number 37. Boston blasts it from the blue. And the horn sounds to end the first. We're underway in the middle frame. Chorsky blasts it from the blue line. Gets a pad on it. Sweeney. Boston setting up in the defensive zone. Bruins. Sweeney passes the puck. Snaps it from the slot. Rebound. Shot. Gets a pad on it. Morozov carries it into his own zone. Pittsburgh has the puck on a string. He's cruising down the right side. Fires it on the fly. Save. Axelson snaps it from the slot. Save. The Penguins have control of the puck. Fires it on the fly. Flies over the top of the net. DeMaio carries it into his own zone. Cross-ice pass. Kasparaitis. Vasky takes over control of the puck. Sweeney setting up in the defensive zone. Fires it on the fly. Gets a pad on it. He cruises through the middle. Fires it on the fly. Gets a pad on it. Robs him of the puck. Robs him of the puck. Drills it from the right side. Bruins skating in his own zone. Sweeney skating in his own zone. DeMaio holds onto the puck with no one to pass to. Brown skating in his own zone. Barnaby. Backhander. Fires it on the fly. Too high. Vasky skating in his own zone. Hines. He comes down the right wing with speed. Dallas skating in his own zone. Pittsburgh skates around looking for someone to pass to. Can't handle the puck. Fires it on the fly. Gets a pad on it. Penguins carries it into his own zone. Fires it from the blue line. Save! Gill carries it into his own zone. Boston. Bruins can't handle the puck. Quick release from in close. It's in there to take the lead. Ferrero scores the goal.
Bruins.
1-0. The Boston Bruins. 1:15 remaining in the second period. Andrechuk. Boston pounces on a sloppy pass. Bruins. Ferrero.
1 minute remaining in the second period.
Chorsky takes over control of the puck. He's cruising down the right side. Fires it on the fly. Gets a pad on it. The ref stops the play for a faceoff. Carter. Slaney takes over control of the puck. Barnaby. He rushes up on the left wing. Defoe takes over control of the puck. Mann setting up in the defensive zone. Boston fires it on the fly. Gets a pad on it. Barnaby and Vasky are going at it. Looks like a fight breaking out. What a battle! Ow! That's gotta hurt. Just being pummeled. Oh, he looks dazed from those punches. Oh, they're both getting instant. Vasky pushes him down. That's a knockout. Axelson, Tiemander carries it into his own zone. And that wraps up the middle frame. Play is underway in the third period. Axelson, Tiemander, Boston setting up in the defensive zone. He rushes in on the right wing. Backhander, fires it on the fly. Gets a pass. Save. Can't pick up the puck. Penguins. Straka. Pittsburgh. Penguins. Fires it on the fly. Save! T-Mender holds onto the puck with no one to pass to. Titov robs him of the puck. Throws it to the left. Robs him of the puck. Gill. The defenseman unloads it on the net. Slager. Pittsburgh passes the puck. Gets ready to shoot. Fires it on the fly. Save! Backhander. Fires. Rebound. Shot. Bruins. Samsonov carries it into his own zone. Boston. Bruins. Winds up. Fires it on the fly. Titov setting up in the defensive zone. Fires it on the fly. Allison pounces. Hines. Samsonov carries it into his own zone. McLaren carries it into his own zone. Robs him of the puck. Hines takes over control of the puck. Warenka takes over control of the puck. Thornton takes over control of the puck. Fires it on the fly. Feeds it back to the goalie. The ref stops the play for a face-off. Belanger. T-Mender. Mann. Boston carries it into his own zone. Bruins takes over control of the puck. Belanger throws it to the left. T-Mender. Kovalov robs him of the puck. Belanger. Mann intercepts the puck. Robs him of the puck. Robs him of the puck. Dallas robs him of the puck. Fires it up. Wasn't looking for it. Robs him of the puck. Axelson setting up in the defensive zone. Wasn't looking for it. Axelson carries it into his own zone. Number 12 fires it on the fly. DeMaio skating in his own zone. Dallas setting up in the defensive zone. Bark pounces on a sloppy pass. Can't handle the puck. Axelson. Dallas setting up in the defensive zone. That wraps up the game. Both teams. The game is underway with the drop of the puck. The Pens have control of the puck. Titov. Pittsburgh fires it on the fly. Can't handle the puck. Bruins setting up in the defensive zone. Robs him of the puck. Can't handle the puck. Bork. Backhander. The defenseman unloads it on the net. Save. Thornton takes over control of the puck. Ferrero. Slager. Yager. He has the puck and he can really fires it on the fly. Save! The ref stops the play for a face-off. Belanger. Boston skating in his own zone. He flies along the boards on the left side. Gets ready to shoot. Slap shot. Bruins setting up in the defensive zone. Gill. Number 37. Kovalov fires it on the fly. Close save. Backhander fires it on the fly. Belanger setting up in the defensive zone. Backhander fires it on the fly. Robbed. Number 37 setting up in the defensive zone. Pittsburgh gets ready to shoot. Snaps it from the slot. Bruins skating in his own zone. Mann skating in his own zone. Robs him of the puck. Belanger takes over. Timander winds up, fires it, save. Kasparaitis carries it into his own zone. DeMaio takes over control of the puck. Robs him of the puck. Boston carries it into his own zone. Snaps it from the slot. Gets a pad on it. The ref stops the play for a face-off. Bruins. Slaney skating in his own zone. Pittsburgh Penguins skating in his own zone. He has the puck and he can really fly. The Penguin fires it on the fly. Hines carries it into his own zone. Chorsky, he rushes up on the left wing.
1 minute.
Fires it on the fly. It's in there to take the lead. Number 38 scores the goal. Chorsky assisted on the play.
Penguins
1-0. The Pittsburgh Penguins. 0:59 left in the first period. Andrechuk, Timander, Boston setting up in the defensive zone. Bruins fires it on the fly, gets a pad on it, and the goalie hangs on for a whistle. Barnaby, Pittsburgh carries it into his own zone. Penguins fires it on the fly. Red lights! That puts them on top. Barnaby scores the goal. Long assisted on the play.
Penguins
2-0. The Pittsburgh Penguins. 0:36 left in the first period. Belanger. He flies along the boards on the left side. Snaps it from the slot. It's in there. Belanger scores the goal. Carter assisted on the play. The Pittsburgh Penguins. 0:25 left in the first period. Bruins can't handle the puck. Kasparaitis. Pittsburgh skating in his own zone. Fires it on the fly. Save! Bruins. And the whistle sounds to end the opening period. We begin period number 2. Belanger. Man gets ready to shoot. Fires it on the fly. Kasparaitis setting up in the defensive zone. Fires it on the fly. Flies over the top of the net. McLaren passes the puck. Man robs him of the puck. Bork takes over control of the puck. McLaren skating in his own zone. Gets ready to shoot. Drills it from the right side. Belanger carries it into his own zone. He has the puck and he can really fly. Slashing penalty. Boston. Oh, looks like the crowd didn't like that one. Pittsburgh has an opportunity on the power play.
Bruins. Penalty.
Samsonov setting up in the defensive zone. McLaren. Samsonov skating in his own zone. He rushes up on the left wing. Fires it on the fly. Gets a pad on it. Straka. Defoe takes over control of the puck. And the goalie hangs on for a whistle. Robs him of the puck. Andrechuk setting up in the defensive zone. Blasted from the blue line. Save! Save! Andrechuk robs him of the puck. Kovalov passes it to the goalie. Dallas skating in his own zone. Pittsburgh Penguins robs him of the puck. Andrechuk passes it to the right. Number 37 takes over control of the puck. Backhander fires it on the fly. They take advantage of the man advantage. That puts them on top. Darius Kasparaitis scores the goal. Number 37 assisted on the play. Boston gets their man back out of the penalty box.
Penguins.
3-1. The Pittsburgh Penguins. 2-0 remaining in the second period. Axelson gets a pad on it. DeMaio carries it into his own zone. Kovalov takes over control of the puck. Snaps it from the slot. Pittsburgh gets the shot off while going down. Fires it on the fly. It's in the net. Puts them firmly in command of the game. Alexei Kovalov scores the goal. Number 37 assisted on the play.
Penguins.
4-1.
Goal.
The Pittsburgh Penguins. 1:32 remaining in the second period. Bruins. Vasky. Boston skating in his own zone. He rushes in on the right wing. Fires it on the fly. Gets a pad on it. Number 38 winds up, slap shot.
1 minute
Vasky
remaining in the second
carries
period.
it into his own zone. Samsonov, Hines, Wilkinson, skating in his own zone. Backhander, Pittsburgh, can't slap shot. Bruins, Hines, Boston, skating in his own zone. Bruins, Samsonov, Vasky, Hines, Samsonov, Vasky, Wilkinson intercepts the puck. And that wraps up the middle frame. Play is underway in the third period. Andrechuk, Morozov gets ready to shoot, fires it on the fly, gets a pad on it, and the goalie hangs on for a whistle. Man, Belanger carries it into his own zone. Backhander fires it on the flop, fires the rebound. Defoe pounces on a sloppy pass. The ref stops the play for a face-off. It's in there! Gives them a comfortable lead. Long scores the goal. .4:27 left to go in the third period. Belanger, Boston, Bruins, fires it on the fly, gets a pad on it. Bork takes over control of the puck. McLaren skating in his own zone. Gets ready to shoot, fires it on the fly, gets a pad on it. Barnaby carries it into his own zone. Pittsburgh fires it on the fly, gets a pad on it. Penguins intercepts the puck, snaps it from the slot, gets a pad on it. Bork skating in his own zone. Gets the shot off while going down, fires it on the fly. It's in the net! Puts them firmly in command of the game. Brown scores the goal.
Penguins
6-1. The Pittsburgh Penguins. 3:23 left to go in the third period. Titov blows by him. Straka. Pittsburgh. Backhander. Fires it on the fly. Bruins. Skating in his own zone. He rushes up on the left wing. Fires it on the fly. It's in the net. DeMaio scores the goal. Axelson and Sweeney assisted on the play.
Bruins
2:54 left to go in the third period. Samsonov robs him of the puck. Fires it on the fly. Save! Gill pounces on a sloppy pass. Teamander skating in his own zone. Samsonov, Wilkinson intercepts the puck. Robs him of the puck. Number 37 carries it into his own zone. Samsonov, Hines. He flies along the boards on the left side. Snaps it from the slot. Number 37, Allison takes over control of the puck. robs him of the puck. Teamander setting up in the defensive zone. Gill, Boston, skating in his own zone. The Penguins have control of the puck. Bruins. Teamander setting up in the defensive zone. Can't handle the puck. Fires it on the fly. Goal! Sergei Samsonov scores the goal. Teamander and Jason Allison assisted on the play.
Bruins
6-3. The Pittsburgh Penguins. 1-4 left to go in the third period. Andrechuk, McLaren.
1 minute remaining in the third period.
Bork, McLaren. Passes it to Boston. Bruins. McLaren. Andrechuk robs him of the puck. Boston intercepts the puck. Penguins takes over control of the puck. Morozov. Andrechuk passes the puck. Chorsky. Slager gets ready to shoot. Fires it on the fly. Red lights! Gives them a comfortable lead. Slager scores the goal. Chorsky assisted on the play.
Penguins
7-3. The Pittsburgh Penguins. 0-4 left to go in the third period. Belanger. Boston. That wraps up the game. Won by the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins just owned them the whole night. That wraps up tonight's broadcast of the game. From all of us at Konami Sports, I'm Randy Hahn. Thank you and good night.